So people ask me all the time, Terrence, is now a good time to buy a house? Interest rates are high. There's a lot of uncertainty going on. Would you really recommend buying a house right now? So we laugh, we talk about it for a little bit, and ultimately the answer is yes. I would say now is a great time to buy a house. To which you're going to ask why. To which my first response is because I'm a sales rep and this is how I put food on my table. And then we'll laugh and we'll joke. But when we really look at the numbers, which we're going to dive into, is now a good time to buy. So let's say you're looking at a $500,000 house today. And on that $500,000 house, interest rates are mid sixes, high sixes, low sevens. We'll just take 6.5 for this purpose. Not quoting rates today, just using some numbers for this purpose. On that, if you put 5% down, you're looking at a payment of about $2,800 a month on the principal and interest side. So let's fast forward a couple years. You say, Terrence, I don't think, interest rates are too high. I want to wait for interest rates to drop a little bit. So you wait 2 years. Well, over that 2-year span, this thing called appreciation has taken place. Appreciation in some places are as high as 14, 15%. Now, the national average is around 3.5%. So for these purposes, we're going to look at 3.5% appreciation. So here's what that means. Today, this house is $500,000. At 3.5% appreciation, which is the real low number, in 2 years, that same house is going to cost you $535,000. But if we look at the numbers, let's say in 2 years, interest rates drop to low fives to mid fives. The crazy thing is the payment, the principal and interest payment on that $535,000 house is going to be about the same as if you paid $500,000 for that house 2 years ago. So you might say to me, well, I don't win anything, but I don't lose anything if I wait this 2-year mark. To which case, you do lose a little bit because now you've been renting for another 2 years, which is going to cost you some money. But again, you've missed out on this beautiful thing called appreciation. So over that 2-year period of sitting out, what did you really miss? You missed out on $35,000 of equity. That's another $35,000 that could have been in your nest egg if you pulled the trigger 2 years sooner. It could be another $35,000 closer to retirement. Plus, you're still keeping hold of the payment that you were making before. And what else are you really losing here? So by waiting that 2 years, not only have you lost out on $35,000 in equity, now as interest rates drop, you can always refinance that property into that lower interest rate. That difference there is about $300 a month. So when you look at this cost of buy, sell kind of thing, yes, you could wait it out. Payments would ultimately be the same. But this is the difference between thinking short term and thinking long term. By buying now, you're setting yourself up for a better future. You're going to have more equity. You're going to have more in that nest egg. And you're able to take advantage of when interest rates do drop to a lower payment. Yes, tomato kind of thing. But ultimately, the cost of waiting at the end of the day will always cost you more when we're looking at equity, simply because of appreciation. Keeping in mind that these appreciation numbers that we're looking at today are on the low side. Appreciation is expected to average 5-6% going forward based on some Google searches that I did. So again, don't quote me on that one. But the longer the wait, the more you're missing out on that piece alone. If you have any specific questions, DM me, send me a message, let me know. Enjoy your week. Talk to you soon.